Hello there, I'm Colonel Namdas, and if we haven't met before, I make guides about all kinds of strategy games, including Stellaris. Today, I'm collaborating with Paradox Interactive to give you some ideas of civics to take to get the absolute most out of the new council system, and have a little bit of thematic fun in the process. The council system added in the Gemini update has opened up more options than ever for min-maxing your empire. But which civics are the best if you really want to get the most out of your council? Let's go through some potential synergies, builds, and what you should look out for when making a custom empire to ensure your council is getting as many bonuses as possible. As with anything in empire creation, before you can talk about synergies and min-maxing, you have to choose a focus for your empire. This will dictate what your build is built up around and what your empire will be good at, and in our case, what civics we're going to want to go for. So let's go through a few example builds and see what's best. First up, the aggressive military build. With this empire, we're going to be focused on wars and fighting as much as possible. For this, I don't think you can do much better than Crusader Spirit and Nationalistic Zeal. For Crusader Spirit, you already have those basic effects of cheaper ships and increased damage, but that Lord Commander Council position is going to take your offensive game to the next level. The increased fire rate per level will stack with the already increased damage, and with a high level Lord Commander, make your fleets incredibly deadly in no time flat. The added army damage will make invading hostile planets into a breeze, and of course you'll have no trouble filling this position since you should have plenty of military leaders anyway. As for Nationalistic Zeal, you have the baseline buffs making for an easier time remaining at war for longer periods, as well as being able to claim enemy territory for your own at a much reduced price. The standard bearer position increasing naval capacity might be basic, but once you get some levels under this leader's belt, which should take no time at all, you'll be able to build fleets of a truly massive size. To begin with, 1% per level won't be much, but as the game goes on and your baseline capacity increases alongside your leader's level, you're going to get exponentially more capacity as time goes on, provided nothing happens to your leader. If I was running this build, I'd obviously go militarist and combine it with authoritarian to keep the resources coming in to fuel your conquest. And of course, you gotta go imperial to stack those resources from jobs in your capital and get as much influence as possible from power projection. For species traits, I'm going for quick learners to get your leaders leveled up as fast as possible. Also, if you happen to lose an admiral, then you can recruit a new one and get them leveled up as soon as possible to get the bonuses out of your positions. I'm also going to go with strong to stack up those worker resources and army strength bonuses. And for my ruler, I'm obviously going an admiral, and you can't go wrong with hostility to stack damage bonuses even further. In this empire, you have massive potential for high military strength, and that's only going to get better as the game goes on for a great snowballing effect. As well as this, everything fits thematically, so what's not to love? Just make sure you give yourself an appropriately evil looking flag and you're off to the races. But what about the total opposite if you want to play as a peaceful trading empire? I'd go for Diplomatic Corps and Anglers. Diplomatic Corps is going to make getting other empires on side tons easier with the extra envoys. Once you join the galactic community, that extra weight to throw around will make getting what you want out of the galaxy without needing to fight for it much easier. Add on the trust cap per level on your high ambassador, and you'll have no problem getting plenty of other empires to be your best pals in no time at all. Now, we could have gone for merchant guilds instead of anglers, but I chose this for a couple of reasons. Firstly, thematically, it makes a lot more sense rather than the empire being run by a group of greedy merchants. And secondly, it's the closest you can get to fishing in Stellaris until they add it for real. Hoping that one's in the next update. There's a lot to read in this one, so I'll condense it down and make it simple for you. On any wet world, which means anything in the middle section, your agricultural districts will be worked by anglers and pearl divers instead of farmers. Not only will these produce food like normal, they'll also produce trade value and consumer goods, making full agriculture-focused worlds an extremely viable use of planets whenever you can. If you manage to find an ocean world, you'll be able to build an uncapped number of agricultural districts, meaning with just one of these planets you can easily feed an entire empire, no problem. Not to mention the insane amount of cash money you'll be getting from all that trade. The Minister of the Seas will also increase the amount of food and consumer goods produced in these districts, meaning they can very quickly spiral into some insane levels of production. To go with these, you'll of course want to go pacifist and xenophile to be friends with everyone you can and avoid wars if at all possible. And obviously we've got to be democratic for that peace-loving vibe. For species traits, you're forced to go aquatic to go with anglers, so to go alongside that, I'm taking wasteful and solitary, since we should be able to solve both of these problems pretty easily should we come across an ocean world, no problem. And of course, you gotta have thrifty to maximize that trade value. As for the ruler, we're going to be going with a governor with principled. Keeping our planets nice and stable will keep the output high, so nothing not to like there. Now, you might not have the most explosive gameplay when using this empire, but you'll be absolutely swimming in friends and resources once you get into the swing of things. And lastly, what about a closed-off tall megacorporation? Megacorps, of course, come with their own set of civics and are a great choice for building tall, and I'm going to go with Farmer State and Relentless Industrialists. Pharma is going to let us build corporate clinics, which will make our leaders live longer, as well as providing extra amenities and trade resources, so nothing not to like there. The pharmaceutical executive leader will also provide extra pop growth and habitability per level, which will be essential for us to grow whilst building tall. The faster growth will let us build up our planets and habitats much faster to account for having less of them, and the habitability will allow us to make the most of the few planets we do get under our control, as well as letting us cram as many people into those habitats as we possibly can. Relentless Industrialist is going to allow us to produce massive amounts of alloys and consumer goods at the only minor cost of pop growth and turning our planets into tomb worlds. Our Chief Extraction Officer will also allow us to increase our planetary mineral production, which is going to be super useful when building tall, as we won't be able to rely on mining stations quite as much. Now, whilst the pop growth reduction is pretty annoying, we'll be more than countering it with the farm estate once everything comes online anyway, so it shouldn't be a problem. As for the tomb world conversion, if we pick an origin which gives us a tomb world preference, such as post-apocalyptic, we can make this work for us with the added bonus of a longer leader lifespan. Since we're a megacorp, we're getting that empire size from planets, which won't matter one bit as we're building tall. The commercial pact boost will be nice for any trading we wish to take part in. We're going to pair that with materialist and authoritarian. Authoritarian is obvious for the extra work output, but materialist is also going to come in really useful to increase our research, which is extremely useful for tall builds. Plus, we can counter some of the hampered growth from industrialists by making some inorganic pops for quicker growth. For traits, Unruly is basically 3 points in a tall empire, since we're not going to have a ton of pops super fast either. Add on intelligence to help with research, and industrious to pair with industrialists for a touch of theming. Finally, for our ruler, I'd go with scientist with Spark of Genius. The faster a tall empire can burn through the research tree, the better. With this build, you're going to have rulers that live for an extremely long time, and pops that produce a ton of resources even in your much smaller territory. No matter what you're building, don't forget to take your leader and council into account. They all start out as minor bonuses, but they can quickly add up to alter the course of the entire game if you use them right. And that is all I have for you today. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with everything Stellaris. And thank you to Paradox for letting me back onto your channel for a couple of videos. That's all from me, so the best of luck out there, and I'll see you next turn.